Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to the RTO Track Titan GT3 Season 7. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. My absolute pleasure once again to be behind the cameras and in the commentary box at my beloved Barcelona. It's mandatory. It is an absolutely incredible track that we have this evening for round number 6. We've seen Suzuka, Bathurst, Indianapolis, Oulton Park, Imola. Last time out, absolutely incredible racing. Still got the Red Bull Ring and Kyalami to go, but it is Barcelona this evening. An absolutely incredible track built in the early 90s, one of the youngest tracks in existence. I was actually there and saw part of it being constructed as a young lad back in 1990. So yeah, a special place in my heart, it is safe to say, for Barcelona. Will it be the same for the drivers this evening? We are about to find out. Two 25 minutes races. Of course, the success ballast from last week carrying over race 2 from last week. Winners 30 kilograms, second place 20 kilograms, third place 10 kilograms, and that is in the pros, the silvers, and the arms. All three out on track for a 25-minute race after the qualifying sessions, and then we will have a second race. That's right, two helpings. That's the word I was looking for, of RTO racing for you all this evening. And yeah, quite frankly, sometimes one helping can be more than enough for the amount of action that we've seen so far. Action that you can, of course, go back and watch. Season 7 has been a barnstormer and more than living up to its predecessor, Season 6. You will not be disappointed. Please go back onto the YouTube page. Make sure you watch the whole of Season 6. Absolutely incredible stuff. And a season that was decided, don't want to spoil it, but by only a few points right across the board. That is, of course, available on the RTO eSports channel. Please, thank you. Thank you to everyone hitting the subscribe button so far, and all the support. Support, of course, coming as well from Track Titan, the easiest way to find out how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to others on their leaderboards or even your friends and community racers. Challenge your friends to get the fastest lap times at different track and car combos and see where you or they are faster to be number one. And thanks to Track Titan, not only do the winners, top three in fact, in each of the sections receive prizes of subscriptions to the plus membership scheme, an annual for the first place, 6 months for second, 3 months for third. There's also an offer for the viewers as well. If you go over to the Track Titan website, RTO Titan, at checkout will give you 1 month free of the plus subscription and 30% off your second month, so thank you very much to Track Titan. If you are looking to get yourself faster out on track and get involved in some racing, then RTO and Track Titan, the perfect combination to get you underway. We will look at the standings now because quali is underway, so we'll have a quick look at the at the AMS. My apologies. We've got the arms up on screen. There we go, and it is Raiden Shogun all conquering, multiple trips to the top spot, 342 points and 62 point gap almost to Nige Woodcote, who himself is almost 60 points ahead of Daniel. Brings it home for the points. Zlatnik at 9th place, his worst finish so far this season. He's only 3 points ahead though of Chris Wilson. Brian Bond there in 5th place on the same 163 point total as David Blythe in the BMW. Alessandro Acuti in 7th, Phil Mitchell in 8th, Baz O'Neill in 9th, and Craig Winter Rounding out the top 10 for the AMs. In the silver standings, it's Nick Cooper leading the way, 301 points to his name, and again, someone at the top of the table with multiple wins. But Richard Gasson, he's got 1 or 2 wins there himself, 3 in fact, for a total of 276 points, 15 ahead of Emmanuel Raji in third. Ryan McCord and Andrew Priadko, fourth and fifth, separated by 50 points at the minute. Daniel Facina in sixth position, Stuart Pryor in seventh, Paul Whitburn in eighth place, Adam Douglas and Marcel Schneitman rounding out the top 10 in the silvers. And in the pros, it is Dan all-conquering Watts leading the way. Only 3 points separate him from Matt Whitburn. Though Whitburn there, we can see, wasn't available for round number 2. So that's 2 point-scoring hauls that Matt has missed out on. And he is still second place and only 3 points behind. An absolutely titanic struggle for the rest of the season to see which one of these two comes out on top. Or will it be Sigurd? Loves to leave it late in the season. Revzig, he didn't race in the last round 5 at Imola, but he is back out this evening for Barcelona. Can he make a charge to the top and prove to be the fly in the ointment from the top 2 party that Watts and Whitburn are having? Paul Sidlowski bringing home race wins, only 14 points behind Revzig himself, with Ben Nergard in 5th, Liam Page in 6th position, James Whittaker in 7th, and Jordan Watson in 8th place. That is the standings. The drivers, as I say, they are out qualifying at the moment. There we can see the team snail cars. It is the arms that are out at the minute. We will, in fact, there is the arms there. My apologies. And at the minute, it is Chris Wilson in the Aston Martin that is leading the way here at Barcelona. 1 minute 45.4, 6/10 ahead of Raiden Shogun. But as we've seen recently, Raiden doesn't particularly need to get it done in qualifying. If he does, all the better, but he can certainly bring it home in race trim. Absolutely no problem at all. Let me just make sure we have plenty game volume. There we go. So yeah, oh no, he's just been overtaken there. We're only just into qualifying and they're already jostling at the top of the timing boards. As Phil Mitchell goes top in the BMW by half a second. Team Snail well represented in the arms. Chris Wilson in second. Nice Woodcut now third. Raiden Shogun in fourth position. Blythe in the pits. Winter in sixth. Baz O'Neill, Daniel Zlatnik in the Porsche. Definitely don't ever like to use chase cam, but when it says hello Raven on the back of the Porsche, it's definitely not an ego thing. I'm just showing off the superb liveries that there's a lot of time and effort that goes into these. So we'll have to make sure that we give them the appropriate screen time. I think you will agree. And yeah, so the arms are setting times at the moment. We'll see where they finish up. They're out rubbering in the track for the pros and the silvers. I've often said I reckon it should be the pros that go first, then the silvers, then the arms, so that the arms get their get the track rubbered in nicely for them. I mean, it could backfire in the wet, certainly, but in dry conditions, I'm all for getting the arms. It's good to see as well, of course, that this is still the original, I meant to say original, 1992, the chicane, 1991, sorry, the chicane wasn't actually there. The RACC chicane wasn't, of course, added till 2007. It has been removed, but it is still very much on display. And there is Jordan Lockwood, new addition to the series. 1 minute 43.8. It's getting quick in the arms, that is for sure. As he heads up through Worth, right on that curb. And we'll jump on board with one of the pros and get a full lap with one of them on board and marvel in the tarmac that is the ever wonderful Barcelona. Still got this stunning La Caixa. I did throw some shade at the Formula 1 drivers. I want to again reiterate my apologies. It's helmet homologation that has caused the change at La Caixa, making it wider. I know the Formula 1 drivers did have some issues with it as well, but it is helmet homologation, the same thing at Speaker's Corner at Spa. That's why that one has been changed as well. There you go, all the fun information that people are really interested in. Lockwood crosses the line. He's still got time for another lap, as we can see. The pros are lining up. That is a Ferrari on the front row. That'll be Liam Page, I believe. And the stunning grey livery as the last few arms make their way through. A couple of them green on the Delta. We're going to see some changes. Daniel Zlatnik is about to put in a very quick time indeed. There we go, 6th place for Zlatnik in the Porsche as Chris Wilson crosses the line. Doesn't improve. Oh, he lost out of the last corner as I was looking at Zlatnik's time there on the board. Craig Winter is going quicker. Track map at a completely bizarre angle, actually. I've never really noticed that before at Barcelona. Why would it sit at that angle? Anyway, coming towards Elf is Winter. The pros are now off and running, so too are the Silvers. We've still got Zlatnik. It looks like Zlatnik can still put in a time as well, and he is improving again. Daniel Zlatnik is improving again. It's not going to be enough to see him catch Raiden Shogun, who is going to be going quicker. Zlatnik needs to find a huge improvement in time if he is going to encroach on Shogun's spot. Raiden Shogun. I've just abbreviated the poor driver's name there. My apologies, Raiden. Yeah, he's going to need to find a lot more time if he's going to encroach on Shogun's spot. Oh, Shogun has found some time as well. Wow, there we go. Raiden Shogun puts himself onto the second row of the AM grid, less than a 10th behind Phil Mitchell. Nige Woodcott's still out on track. Craig Winter now green. Zlatnik's invalidated his lap, so he's back to the pits. Craig Winter then is the last AM on track. Wilson's just invalidated his lap. Nige Woodcott's just jumped back to the pits as well. Craig Winter comes across the line, does improve on his time, not on his position though, less than a 10th separating Winter from Zlatnik. That is going to be quite the challenge. I was going to say we're going to give him some camera time now because he does tend to go out in the front, but he's on a real challenge this season from Messer Whitburn, one of the Messer Whitburns. So yeah, he maybe will get a lot more camera time because they're likely to see battles up at the front as we did, but we'll throw Dan Watts up on screen just in case he does do alien things that he does like to do. As we'll look at the timetable and the final qualifying results for the AMS confirmed then. Lockwood taking pole position. It's an all BMW front row. The Mercedes is sandwiched between a pair of Beamers and a pair of Aston Martins. That is going to be an interesting takeoff off the line. It's Woodcott and Wilson that are the two Aston Martins. We've got Zlatnik in the Porsche in 6th place. Then it's Winter and Blythe. The BMW is pairing up once again on row number 4 for the AMS. Bond and O'Neill, row number 5. And you can see the ballast, despite the ballast, Shogun finishing ahead of Woodcock, who finished ahead of Wilson. Those three, the three podium sitters from round 5, race 2, of course. And yeah, depending on where they finish, you could have some ballast for next week. For the next race that takes place directly after this one, Raiden Shogun getting it done at Imola. Back-to-back wins with the 30 kilograms of ballast. Champions Drive. Good to see Lockwood. It's not often we see that these days. We actually saw someone in ninth place take a purple sector 1 at Red Bull Ring, and I saw Lexus qualify 10th and 11th and take a purple sector in qualifying at Paul Ricard. So Lockwood taking all 3 purple sectors is where that thought was meandering to. Is quite impressive. That's obviously going to be taken away very quickly by the pros and the silvers, and it is Page and Watts that are getting it done. Liam Page in the Ferrari. Looking forward to seeing the Rari do well around here. Some gratuitous onboard Ferrari time. There we go. Let's say a quick hello to the chat as well. We'll let the pros and silvers pop themselves in a quick lap. Pedro, good evening, good evening, good evening. Lesser in as well. Yeah, Lesser, hope you're on the road to recovery. They repaired my ankle yesterday, so today just having a rest. Nice. Well, let's just start. Take your time. We will still be here. Indeed. Yeah, full recovery. Don't rush back. It's better to do it properly and do it once. I trust me, especially when it comes to ankles. I missed many a basketball match because it just wouldn't stay off my ankle and rest it after injuring it. So, yeah, solid advice. Spoon-fed Badger, not driving tonight, didn't fit into my schedule. Sadly. I was through it, assuming I did it correctly. We'll be racing next week, though. Good to hear it. John Lockwood is a new driver with us for the remainder of the season, and he will be silver next week. Yeah, I would say that seems a fair spot to pop him into, given the times that he set there. Good to have him. Yeah, did 3 or 4 seasons in F1 to his teammate. He's a good lad. Oh, would this be Jordan? Yep. Ah, okay. Yep, nice. So Jordan. Oh, okay. So he's done a bit of F1. Nice. Good on with it, thank you. Yeah, and again, thank you to everyone that's supported the RTO Esports YouTube channel since its launch and its inception. Of course, the whole thing thanks to Mr. Joe Boyle himself. Linksay RTO on Twitch. Get over there and follow. If you don't know, get to know, as Dana White says. Make sure you jump over to Linksay's Twitch page. You can see him racing very quickly. He's got a phenomenal academy system. Drivers like Paul Sidlowski and things coming through, and there's Sidlowski absolutely mixing up at the top and bringing home race wins. Quite a few drivers, Ryan McCord and things, I'm sure they'll all testify as to just how good the academy that Linksay runs is. There is the link in chat from my beautiful assistant, thank you very much. So make sure, yeah, please do jump over there, say hi to Joe in his natural habitat. He's more at home behind the wheel, but his love of racing and getting drivers out on track means that this night he sits behind the scenes, pushes buttons, resets servers, and makes sure everything works as ballast. Does all those things to make it run. So again, thank you to everyone who supports him on there, and especially over on here with the launch of the chat. Oh, and of course, yes, you told me that last week. I knew there was a reason. I'd written that down on my little Google sheet. That is right, Paul Sidlowski is now the academy manager. Pun. Like Swan. Everything on the surface looks nice and calm, but the feet are furiously paddling under the water, that is for sure. Liam Page, he'll have the rest of the driver's feet furiously paddling Flintstone style under the car to try and catch up to him. The Ferrari showing a 6/10 gap to the rest of the field, and as if that wasn't enough, Page is going quicker, decimating the gap between himself and the Porsche ahead. It's Whitburn in second and Watts in third place. These two will be carrying ballast. Page is not for this one. Sidlowski in fourth, Revzig in fifth place in the Porsche. We'll see how it does. Of course, at the hands of Zlatnik, not doing particularly well around Barcelona. This is yeah, no Slade on Daniel. This is Sigurd Revsig. If anyone can get this car quickly around Barcelona, it will be Revsig, and he has done that, and he's gone second place. Kunos, is it a 505? Have they something to do with the making this game? Yeah, I think so. But Sigurd Revsig, 1 minute to go. That's him done. He's done and dusted. He won't have time to set an outlap as we see more drivers coming through the final call-in. It's New Holland, the final corner. New Holland. He was much more friendly than the old Holland, that's for sure. Matt Whitburn crosses the line. No improvement there. Dan Watts still in 4th place. He's still out there on track looking to put in a lap. So too is Sidlowski. My apologies to the Silvers. It's Richard Gasson. I did see Nick Cooper, and then it all got very close again up at the top as Revsig went second. It's Gasson leading the way in the Silvers. And yeah, Jordan Watson, you can see, will be a perfect addition to the Silvers. If you look at the time that himself, Gasson and Cooper have set, there is half a tenth of a second separating the three of them. With Marcel Snapeman and what effectively would be 4th place if this was taking place next week. He's 3rd at the moment. I'm sure he'll be grateful that Watson isn't in the Silvers this week. He'll be sneaking home a few points. The improvement in the academy over the last 4 weeks has been incredible. Matt and Paul have their RTO liveries now as well. Ah, of course. Oh, nice. We'll like that. We'll like that. And let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. Gratuitously using the start camera there, but it is for the it's for the host liveries. And of course, Track Titan series sponsor. Thank you again to Track Titan, laying on prizes and a phenomenal offer for viewers as well. RTO Titan at checkout. Get yourself 1 month plus subscription for free and 30% off your next month. Here is Sidlowski around New Holland. Cooper so close. Sidlowski goes quicker. He goes ahead of Watts. So the ballast really taking its toll on Dan Watts in the BMW. Paul Sidlowski ballast free because he didn't finish in the top 3. Crosses the line, 4th position. The Silvers are all settling things out as well. Whitburn in the pit, Ryan McCord in the pits. Facina's just made an improvement. He's just gone quicker as well. So he will start directly behind Priadko. Let's get... yeah, so Liam Page. That's really not going to work for me, is it? Nope, let's see if we can move you. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, Liam Page taking the top spot. Sigurd Revsig in 2nd overall. Matt Whitburn and Paul Sidlowski find themselves on row number 2 ahead of Watts and Gasson. Gasson leading the way for the Silvers. That's going to be quite the battle through the field. Let me just bring that down ever so slightly. We could go a bit quicker than that, I think. Yeah, Jordan Watson and Nick Cooper on row number 4. On row 5 behind them is Marcel Snapeman in the Lamborghini. Good qualifying for him. 3rd place in the Silvers. He'll start beside Douglas on the grid. Then behind them, first in the AMS, it is Lockwood. Actually ended up 5th overall. Sorry, would have been 5th overall if he's in the Silvers. Then it is Paul Whitburn and Ryan McCord, 12th and 13th. We've got Priadko and Mitchell, and we might need to go a little bit quicker because it is a short lap, so we'll quickly run through the rest of the drivers on the grid. Sorry, drivers down at the back. There is Facina, they're 16th overall. We will jump back up front because we are about to get things underway. It is a short run through the RACC chicane. Yeah, this is Barcelona. This is a track that allows for overtaking, and this is a group of drivers that know how to overtake. This is going to be an absolute barn burner from start to finish, and then we're going to do it all again. As soon as this race finishes, we've got another qualifying session and another 25-minute race. Sticking helicam, it's green, 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 it's foot down, it's flying. Oh, there we go. I've completely lost it because that's frozen, but we're good. Everything's running. So are the drivers. It's the Porsche that's got the start. I did say it would be an interesting start off the line. Liam Page absolutely swapped the Ferrari since 1.9. Really cannot get off the line, but he's got the inside line. But the Porsche is going to go right around the outside. It's Sigurd Revsig coming from second place, and it's Paul Sedlowski. Looks like he could pile on the pressure there as well. Down the back, it looks like. Oh, we've got David Blythe facing the wrong way for Spartan Racing. He's made contact with the Porsche by the look of it. We'll double check on that very shortly. Daniel Zlatnik making up positions. Matt Whitburn making up a spot as well. Paul Sedlowski dropping back down. So he started in fourth. He almost took third position. He's had a bit of a wiggle there on the way out to Elson. Jordan Watson could make this an interesting one towards Worth. If he can get in that slipstream there, Dan Watt's still very close. Nick Cooper making up overall places, as well as Marcel Snapeman. He's still sitting there in third. Adam Douglas looking to improve. Oh, but through Worth, he's been hung out to dry. He's taken a far too wide line. Snapeman has got that move done. He's going to stay just ahead of Paul Whitburn in his beautiful new livery, heading along the backstretch into Lakeksa. That is the Mercedes of Priadko looking for a move up the inside of Lakeksa. That is three wide. That will never ever work, and Paul Whitburn has been spun on lap one into Lakeksa. Up at the front though, Revsig half a second ahead of Liam Page, who took pole position by a handsome gap, but the Porsche getting it done. Turn one, lap one, phenomenal drive by Sigurd. Otherworldly Revsig there. Matt Whitburn and Paul Sedlowski still second and third. Sorry, my apologies. Third and fourth. Watts in fifth place, just behind Jordan Watson. The two BMWs trailing the pack ever so slightly. Nick Cooper in the McLaren for E1 Simsport. He is leading the way in the silvers. Gasson in second. Marcel Snapeman in third place. Douglas fourth. Priadko in fifth position after a bold move. Went slightly awry. He has spun another car, so that might be a lap one incident that the Joe will be looking at. Ryan McCord in 12th place. The arms, it's only Facina that's mixing it with the arms at the minute. The leader in the arms is Jordan Lockwood in the BMW. Oh, it's a Final Fantasy livery. I didn't catch on to that one. Rain Shogun, championship leader in second place. Nigel Woodcut currently running in third. Facina right in the middle of the arms at the middle. Ben Nergard down the order as well. Daniel Zlatnik still running in fourth place. Baz O'Neill into the pit. He's got no FFB. Okay, so Baz O'Neill's wheel has had himself a bit of an issue. Paul Whitburn definitely had that issue at the start, as Sigurd Revsig has got a Ferrari issue into Lakeksa. He's thinking about it. He's not quite going to... Well, there's no not quite about it. That's not a move that he was going to try there. Jump on the rear spoiler of Matt Whitburn, and we can see a whole lot of RTO chasing him. That is Sedlowski, Watson and Watts. That alone would have me pulling over to the side of the road, just letting them go on through. But Whitburn, he has made a sterner stuff behind the wheel than I am. That is for absolutely sure. Oh, and Liam Page. Now, let's jump on the front splitter. Where do we look for this one? Do we watch the battle for the lead, or do we watch the pack hunting down Whitburn like a fox in the countryside here? Liam Page taking it the fastest lap as they cross the start-finish line. Back on the splitter cam into turn one. Rev6 Porsche completely invisible in front of the Ferrari, right out on those curves, really throwing it in. Matt Whitburn getting the job done into turn number one. We've still got Sedlowski, Watts and Watson chasing. Cooper is keeping pace with the lead pack as well. Priadko is looking to make some moves as well. We've got a drive-through from race control, so Blythe picking up a drive-through. In fact, let's see if we can have a look and see. This is maybe a bit premature because there's still racing action going on, but yeah, so this is a quick look at the incident at the start, so it must, yeah, it must have very much been into turn number 1. Oh, the Porsche and the BMW are trying to get the run up the inside and go 4 wide on the start-finish straight. The Sam is either side, and okay, so that was the only part of that accident that it actually showed. My apologies. So good, Revzig is still in the lead. Liam Page is very much still in the slipstream. He is following him fastidiously at the minute, and they're not losing any time. In fact, they're gaining time to the cars ahead. As you can see, that's 7/10 of a second of a gap. Whitburn, no such luxury afforded him. Within 7/10 of his rear spoiler is to another 2 RTO cars. And if ever RTO Esports were looking for a promo video, this race might just be the one. A phenomenal rainbow of RTO Track Titan liveries making their way through New Holland to start their way onto lap number 4. Liam Page looking to overtake the lead. The lead RTO driver at the minute. He is the leader of the race. Sigur the Revzig put in a phenomenal lap in qualifying to get himself up onto the front row and got an absolutely otherworldly start. 2 completely different lines for the two of them through turn number 3, but he did get the start. He got it around the outside on the way into turn number 1, and on the way out he had the lead of the race, and that is what he still has at the minute. Whitburn still got a trail of RTO behind him. Richard Gasson trying to close in on Nick Cooper. This is a battle for the lead in the silvers. We've also got a battle for a lead in the arms. Excellent stuff here as Raiden Shogun is closing in on Jordan Lockwood. Lockwood making a debut appearance in the league, and he's really put himself in a prime position to make a bit of a name for himself here. We've got Raiden Shogun, championship leader, chasing him at the minute. These drivers all settled in behind the lead pack of silvers. Can Lockwood bring himself home a debut victory? He's got 2 cracks of the whip this evening. This will be his best shot at it though, because he's got no ballast at this point. He finishes on the podium, race number 2. He's getting himself a few extra bags of sugar and sand stuffed in the doors. Anything up to 30 kilograms could be added. So can he take advantage? Priadko looking to take advantage of any chink in the Douglas armour he can find. The McLaren though staying fairly well planted. The Mercedes right over on the curves. It's still the meta car for getting over the curves. And Dan Watts, not to be left out, the battle for the lead of the race. If we jump on the BMW front splitter, we can see it's getting all very close. On the side by side, the leaders are side by side. It's Liam Page looking to retake the lead of the race. He's ended up. Let's have a look and just see what happened there. So I'm not sure if Sigurd Revzig was slightly sluggish on the way out of the last corner. Let's see what the Ferrari does in a straight line here. It looks like it looked like Revzig had a good gap there, but it is a solid charge. Oh, and he's gone full send up the inside. And then backed right out of it. As it was, Revzig had to ride those yellow exit curbs. That did unsettle the car. We do have a car out of the race at the minute as well. Daniel Zlatnik down in the pits. Daniel Zlatnik in the pits. So not 100% sure what has happened there to Daniel. Nothing on the incident log there, so he's pulled in the pits for whatever reason. We do have one driver who's already had a problem with force feedback, so might be a bit of a technical issue. Sadlowski, no technical issues there. Spoon-fed Badger, it was, yeah, full-blooded send to say the least. All the drivers did survive, which is very good to see. And they're still very much racing on. Page still the fly in the RTO ointment. Dan Watts still very much in touch despite the extra ballast. Ben Nergard in the pros looking to make his way back through the field. He's just gotten past Raiden Shogun, so he now separates the battle for the AM lead. Priadko looking very quick as well. Still, all in fact, looking even quicker is Wilson in the arms. The Aston Martin's got a phenomenal run out with New Holland. Very nearly took the inside line there into turn number 1 for Cena. Oh, oh, and that is a lot of snap oversteer on the back of that Mercedes. Let's go into Forbidden Chase Cam and watch just how much that stepped out on there. Oh yeah. That is a clean up on aisle 3 moment right there. The Mercedes did survive, although he might not survive in that position for much longer, as Wilson, we can see in the Aston Martin, is looking very quick indeed. Douglas now putting pressure on Shogun. In fact, Douglas is past Woodkit. So the 3 arms now separated by a pro, the top 3 arms, sorry, separated by a pro and the silver. We'll see what's happening up at the front. If Liam Page has made any inroads at the minute. Nope, still very much in the hands of Revzig. Whitburn in 3rd place, doing his best to shake off the drivers behind and try and catch up and impose himself on the battle ahead. Dan Watts is perfectly positioned, you would feel, at the minute to take advantage of the slightest mistake by any of the drivers. Uncharacteristic mistakes, you would say, if any of them do make them, but these things do happen, especially when you're running 6 deep at the top of a race. At the front of a race with a track that is so open to overtakes through so many parts, as we see Watson just running ever so slightly deep into turn number 1. Watts really wrestling with that car. You want to talk about esports setup? Try an esports setup with an extra 30 kilograms of ballast popped in. I'm not sure send is the word I'd use. And yes, I would agree with Spoonfed Badger there. Yep, it's before 10 o'clock. We'll go with send. We're not likely to see anything like that from Watts. He's got his BMW driving teammate ahead of him, secured Revzig. Still the driver holding the top spot. It's going to be a phenomenal result if he does. Page will be absolutely kicking himself that Revzig got the drop on him at the start. Wilson is still absolutely moving as well. It's Phil Mitchell he's now up against. Mitchell down quite down a couple of positions since the start of the race, now sitting 4th in the arms, and it could well be 5th if Wilson gets his way. Although it doesn't look like, my apologies, I've read that the wrong way around. Wilson's just been overtaken by Mitchell. Mitchell making his way back up through the field. Let me just, Mitchell is down 3. He's just made back a position, my apologies, I read that data incorrectly. So Wilson has been overtaken, and Winter just about down the road. Bond facing the wrong way earlier as well, now back and running, of course. Whitburn as well in the same boat. He ended up facing the wrong way after contact. 22nd position he's now in, and Fangero running at the back. The Porsche that was involved in the lap 1 turn 1 incident at the back of the arms as well. But we're going to have to jump back up to the top of the overall race lead, because it is Revzig and Page that are still dueling out. They're half a second separating the two of them. Matt Whitburn in the McLaren, again doing his best to try and keep with the 2 ahead while defending from the 3 behind. And in fact, I've missed an overtake there. I can only apologise, because Watts has gotten past Watson. I don't imagine there was too many fireworks for that one, the 2 teammates. Yeah, well, I'm sure of Watson. Yeah, see, again, the RTO team in general, a vast majority of these drivers here, if they know you're caught bang to rights, or if there's a driver behind that's quicker, it's often best just to let them get in front and let them pull you along. You never know, at mid-race you could pick up a few pointers if they're taking a slightly quicker line or a slightly different line through certain corners, with certainly Watts and Watson swapping positions, which is step 1 for Watts if he's going to continue to charge for the top of the championship. He really needs to get past Sadlowski. Obviously he would like to finish ahead of Whitburn desperate to finish ahead of Watts. That would put him back on top of the standings if he can, but at the moment it's certainly step 1, get at least 1 driver between himself and Watts, and that's exactly what he's done with Paul Sadlowski, and that's a phenomenal exit out of New Holland. The McLaren absolutely skating over the exit curves, and that is a second he's put between himself and Sadlowski already. And let's have a look and see how close he is to the front battle, and that is absolutely a battle. No sense this time into turn number 1, both drivers surviving. We've been out on track for 15 minutes already, that's incredible. But Page taking a slightly different line again through turn number 3. Whitburn got the VIP front row seats to this battle that he's going to be getting involved in as well, we think. We've got Jordan Watson still chasing Watts, and I think I just heard one Joe Boyle politely clearing his throat there to potentially indicate that he is popping in to say hello and join in on some of the action here, Joe. Would that be a correct assertion?
Maybe.
Maybe. Or have I just completely thrown you under the bus, made an assumption while you were working away in the background?
No, all the jobs are done. I've just been enjoying the race, and these guys at the front, they are absolutely on it. Liam is all over refs. Ref having to defend really hard as they come down the end of the back straight. Oh, that's going to get very tight. And Liam trying to do an RTO on an RTO driver didn't quite work that time round, but Liam is obviously on it in that Ferrari.
Oh, absolutely on it. I'll tell you who else is on it. Matt Whitburn. He's been on it all season. He missed one of the rounds. And he is still second in the championship, only trailing by a couple of points, and he is only trailing these two by a couple of tenths of a second through the final chicane. Oh, it's amazing. It's great to see the cars can actually now interact correctly with the curves. Trust me, it still takes a lot of nerve and a lot of control to throw the cars over some of those curves through that chicane. It's certainly a lot easier and better since the 1.9 update, a much more faithful representation of the real thing. And look at that gap now building up. But look at the battle with Dan Watts. Dan Watts looking to overtake his teammate. Oh no, sorry, he's gone defensive. He's defended from Jordan Watson. I thought he was looking for a move on Sidlowski. He's trying to defend from Watson. Watson trying to retake that 5th position. Full Tony Hawk rail slide on the exit curve to turn number 1. But he does not, on this occasion, manage to pull it off as Liam Page, still holder of the fastest lap and still firmly holding on to the rear splitter of Sigurd Revsig. Revsig, of course, more than used to driving with someone else this close. We've seen him and Watts and Page as well, often up at the front of the grid. Had a difficult start to the season with the tracks so far, but the Ferrari Ballast 3 doing well so far. Would have been a whole lot better given the qualifying position, but Sigurd Revsig can certainly throw the cat amongst the pigeons off of the start-finish line. Oh, we're going to see a move into Lakakes. I was going to bring Joe in there for a quick question about getting off the start line, but Matt Whitburn again watching this battle unfolding ahead of him as the two of them. And first and second try go side by side through Lakakes. That's it.
I must admit that had me clenching a little bit there, I'm not going to lie.
That aged me quite a few years there. Yep. Incredible precision, Joe. And this is the thing, this is why I get so excited. I've tried to drive these cars. I understand how difficult it is. You are no slouch behind the wheel, Joe. You're easily one of the quickest and most consistent out there. That was phenomenal control from both of them to not lose any pace, not really lose any time. Full side by side through a corner like cakes. That is racing right there.
Absolutely. I mean, refs did everything he could to just pinch Liam as much as he could so he could get a better exit, because the Porsche, as we know, does have such a good launch off of the slower corners with it being rear-engined, but the Ferrari is no slouch. But the one downside to the Ferrari is its acceleration, which is why at the start of the race the Porsche just absolutely out-tracked it down the long straight. So, and then Liam knew that the rest of the race was just going to be a fight trying to get back through. So, but yeah, trying to keep it. You got to use your strengths at this point. Refs needs to know that he just needs to get good exits out of the slower corners, pull the gap, and then just what he's doing down the main straight is obviously trying to break the toe, just to try and keep that gap when they go into turn 1. And as you say, this brings Matt Whitburn. He's just sitting there nice and patient at the moment, 6.5 minutes to go. And it means that he can sit and watch what goes on and maybe pick up a win if these guys trip over each other.
Yeah, he's. I say it all the time. People must get bored hearing me say I'm like a broken down record. 99% of the time it's the third or fourth. Like if you're the third or fourth driver in a train, you're often best positioned because you can eye up both drivers ahead. As soon as they try and go side by side, you can try and follow one of them through, make it awkward, throw one of them off their line, end up with a double overtake quite easily. And given the he's just been signed by RTO Racing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt Whitburn absolutely knows what he's doing behind the wheel. He's only a couple of points off the championship lead after missing one of the rounds. And again, Joe, perfect strategy there from Whitburn. What you've just said is exactly playing out. He didn't even try and go over there on the toe. He knows, oh, that's Liam Page making a bit of a mistake, and that's exactly what I was about to get Joe to highlight there. He just needs to sit back and wait. He's within striking distance with the slightest mistake, and now Liam Page has got himself a McLaren-sized headache out of turn number one, Joe. Yeah, the pros that sometimes do make a little bit of a mistake and get very close and jam on the brakes. The left foot of Whitburn was through the floor there on that brake pedal,
I
but
think
they
it's between the
avoid
headlights.
contact. That was, but that was proper Flintstones. I mentioned Flintstones for qualifying earlier, but yeah, he was actually using the heel of his foot on the tarmac there to stop the car. Oh, Dan Watts might be about to do the same thing as well, actually. How close is he getting? Oh, he's very close. Look at this now. He needs this position as well. So yeah, Whitburn is sitting in this position again. Perfectly highlighted, Joe. Slightest mistake ahead. He could have got in the slipstream to close into turn number one. He didn't. He just sat back, and it almost paid perfect dividends. So Whitburn really is playing this very cleverly at the minute, and he's got Sidlowski with that buffer, so it's going to give him that extra little points haul over Watt. So at the minute, I would say Whitburn, obviously he'd like to win, but this is a decent position for him to be in overall.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just to reiterate, there is no team orders allowed in RTO League Racing. So all these boys, I know they all race for us here at RTO, but they are not allowed to start saying, okay, you go after you and all this kind of stuff. So there is no just moving over. So that's why you're seeing Dan and Paul having a proper fight and Jordan Watson just sitting watching. He's got the best seat in the house as Paul looks to go defensive on the run down to turn one. Dan's going to go all the way around the outside, using all the curb and the momentum. He's going to give him the space on the inside. It's going to run him wide. Yeah, he just took too much and had to run over the sausage, which means Jordan Watson's now going to have a little sniff and get that position back. And that's all it takes, as you said, you know, just being that third car, just sit and watch and see what happens. And the pressure is always on the guy in the middle at that point because he's got everything to lose and everything to gain.
Exactly, and that's the driver that's looking in two directions. Ahead. Absolutely. And the rear view mirror. Revzig's looking in his rear view mirror. Whitburn is looking in the front of his car. Page is looking front and back. It's now Jordan Watson that's in the middle there. Dan Watts tried a solid move there into turn number one, just carried at a bit too much pace. In the silvers, again, apologies to the silvers and the arms, but the action over the front has been phenomenally close. Gasson did get himself ahead of Cooper, and Marcel Snapeman looking to make another drop in position for Cooper in the closing stages. Less than 3 minutes to go, less than 3/10 separating Cooper from Snapeman, and only double that separating Cooper from Gasson. So that battle is going to go right down to the wire. Jordan Lockwood has got two silver separating him from the rest of the arms at the moment. That might only be one as Adam Douglas in the McLaren looking to get past. He's still got Andrew Priadko. Oh, actually, sorry, Priadko is a bit down the road, actually. I think he has. Yes, he has. He's just got at least a tyre off the track. In the last couple of laps, yeah, he's dropped some pace there. But that is the silvers. Nice Woodkit sitting in third in the arms with Chris Wilson just ahead of Phil Mitchell. But there's Wilson in the Aston Martin looking to bring home a podium and get himself the gift of 10 kilograms of extra ballast, extra weight in race number 2. It is applied in qualifying as well. So yeah. It is an interesting dynamic for the drivers. You rock up to a course, you do your race, and then you do the same thing again, but you've suddenly got that extra 30 kilograms to deal with. We'll see who deals with it best. We'll see who deals with the pressure best up at the top. It's an unmovable force meeting an unstoppable object meeting another immovable, unstoppable force. These three up at the front have been unstoppable. Sigurd Revsing has still got the race by the scruff of the neck. He took the lead by the scruff of the neck through turn number one. The Ferrari always getting found out off the start-finish line, and Revsing taking full advantage of that. No slipstream chasing there from Page. He's more concerned with just keeping the car going in a straight line. We've got just over a minute to go again into Le Cakes. So close the three cars get. And you can see now Whitburn will be absolutely delighted to see two names behind them that are not Dan Watts, Sidlowski and Watson now separating the two championship leaders in the pros as they head into the RACC chicane for the penultimate time of asking. Round number 6, race 1 is almost done, and we've got no idea who is going to win it. Zagur Revsik is certainly perfectly positioned. He moves over on the dirty side of the track, trying to break that toe. It is confirmation of the last lap. Matt Whitburn stays out with the slipstream once again. Wily campaigner knows, well, he's already seen one mistake from Page. Page needs to be absolutely on the ball this lap, but he's going to lose that second position. And Jordan Watson could be looking to take 4th place from teammate Paul Sidlowski. Once again, reiterating, no team orders in RTO, and I can absolutely vouch for that. These drivers will go tooth and nail for the points in the positions. Liam Page trying to find a way to go side by side on the way down into Elf. If he pulls this one off, that'll be an incredible corner to pull off. He's actually going for it into Elf. He's trying for the round outside. He's going to let himself hung out to dry. Matt Whitburn is surely going to take the position because he's no way he's going to be able to keep the momentum. He's lost the back of the Ferrari, and that is Whitburn now got him side by side through where Whitburn might back out with this and try and make it awkward for him up the hill, and he did ever so slightly. He's got the outside line, and it's Matt Whitburn that's gone round the outside. First race in the colours, and he's only done it up the hill through Worth. That is an incredible move. Is he going to be able to hold on to the position though? As we see them run into Lakeksa, he's got the move. We know that Page is good here. He's opened up the corner. He's going to try for a cutback up through sector number 3 on the exit to Lakeksa. The head up the hill is Whitburn, who is biding his time. What an absolute strategist behind the wheel. That is perfectly played by Whitburn. The slightest of mistake and has put him up into 2nd place. And an absolutely incredible overtake as well. Oh, and we're almost going to see one in the background. I think it's Sidlowski and Watson go side by side. It's only the RACC chicane. They're going to go side by side in an Audi and a BMW. It's going to be a straight drag race out with the last corner. So good. Revsik has got this one run and done. He takes the checker flag. Matt Whitburn in 2nd. Liam Page in 3rd. It's a straight drag race between Sidlowski and Watson, but it is going to be Sidlowski gets the Audi across the line. Then the pair of BMWs, but it's Watson ahead of Watts. What a race. Richard Gasson very close behind the pros. He's going to take the top spot in the silvers. Nick Cooper in 2nd place, and Marcel Snakeman rounding out the podium. Ryan McCord coming home in 4th place, and it is Jordan Lockwood making his debut here at RTO. He is going to bring home the ARM win ahead of Nige Woodcock in the Aston Martin, and Chris Wilson rounding out the podium. Championship leader Raiden Shogun finishing in 4th place. We've still got a battle going on for 21st position overall as Craig Winter has just been overtaken by Paul Whitburn. Phenomenal drive by Paul to get himself back up to 20th. My apologies, Paul. He's made up quite a few positions after being turned on the first lap. Incredible drive. What a race. Latnick finishing as well. My brain is absolutely buzzing after the end of that one. That, Linksay, is why we keep coming back to RTO racing. That is incredible.
Oh, that was insane. I must admit, Matt has just pulled an absolute worldie out. He is now fully fledged and got his RTO wings after that one. That was insane. And hats off once again, Liam Page. So people that don't know, Liam Page obviously races for SOP, good friends of ours, and we race in SOP as well. And Liam has raced with Dan and Refs in the same team. They've done a few things together, so they all know each other very well. So that's another reason why you can race so close, because it means that you can trust the guy around you. I know Liam outbraked himself into turn 1 earlier in the race, but these things happen. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't be able to go side by side if you don't know the person you're racing with. So fair play to all of them.
Yeah, absolutely incredible drive by all concerned. And it was, as we saw, it was Revsik that took the top spot in the silver. I did say at the start, is he going to be the fly in the championship ointment? Well, he's just finished a position ahead of 2nd in the championship and 4 ahead of 1st in the championship. Oh yes, Revsik is coming. You better believe it. In the arms. Confirmation on the full results there. It is Lockwood bringing home the top spot with Woodcock in 2nd, Wilson in 3rd, Shogun in 4th. As we can see, Mitchell in 5th position, Winter in 6th, Bond in 7th, Zlatnik bringing home 8th, and Baz O'Neill and David Blythe not making the end of. In the silvers, Lockwood, Woodcote and Wilson making their way on to the podium. Hopefully that's not too loud. With Shogun, oh no, silvers. There we go, sorry. Gasson taking the top spot there. Cooper in 2nd, despite the 20 kilograms of ballast, finishing ahead of Marcel Snapeman. Ryan McCord, race winner, round 5, race 2, brings the 30 kilograms home in the BMW in 4th. Douglas in 5th. Priadko in 6th position. Facina in 7th. Whitburn back to 8th place. Fangero a lap down in 9th. And in the pros, what a battle. Liam Page taking the fastest lap of the race, but it's only enough for the bottom spot on the podium. Whitburn in 2nd. Revzig bringing home a mighty victory. Let's see how he does though in race number 2, because there will be 30 kilograms of ballast added to Revzig's car. Whitburn will get 20 kilograms, Page will get 10. It'll be the same for Gasson, Cooper and Schneepman, and of course Lockwood, Woodcote and Wilson will all be on the receiving end of some extra weight on their car for round 6, race number 2 of the RTO Track Titan GT3 Season 7. Track Titan is the easiest way to find out how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to other drivers on their leaderboards, or even with your friends and community racers. Thanks to Track Titan, the winners and the top 3 in each of the pros, silvers and AMs will all receive a plus membership to the website. 3rd place will receive 3 months, 2nd place will receive 6 months, and 1st place will receive an annual plus membership. And you too can get yourself involved, get yourself on track in the RTO races, and get yourself that bit quicker with a code at checkout at Track Titan's website. RTO Titan will give you 1 month free of the plus subscription and 30% off your next month. So get yourself over to Track Titan. That's RTO Titan at checkout. 1 month free plus subscription and 30% off your 2nd month. So massive thanks to the sponsors as well. And we'll be out very shortly for qualifying for race number 2. Let me just see if I can fix that. There we go. Oh, I deleted the wrong. I had the wrong thing there. I was trying to be all fancy and I didn't bring up the poster, but there we go. We've got it up now. There is the rounds that we have seen so far. Of course, absolutely incredible opening to the season with Suzuka, Bathurst, Indianapolis, Oulton Park, and that double header at Imola last time out. Barcelona, of course, this evening. It is the Red Bull Ring. The hills will be alive with the sound of GT3s in Austria. That is next week, and then the season finale will be Kyalami. It's hard to say that with a straight face. Big smile there, because if you've seen the overtaking action that we've seen so far this season, Kyalami is going to be absolutely incredible. So make sure you are there for all of that. Do please hit that subscribe and the like button on the stream. Ring the little bell, get the notifications when RTO Esports goes live. As I say, it'll be next week. We'll be back. Joe himself, Mr. Linksay, will be back on his Twitch channel between now and then, taking part in multiple races himself. He does love to get behind the wheel, but he loves to get people involved so much that he is full admin for this evening's events. Doesn't race himself, just makes sure everything is working in the background. He even cranks the lever on this old commentator to get the generator running to get him started before the broadcasts. So he really does have his work cut out for him. So yeah, big thanks to Joe and all the admins for everything to do in the background. And of course, big shout out to the Academy. Driver after driver coming through there. Yeah, showing some very good pace and, most importantly, race IQ. It's not always about being the quickest. Consistency and cleanness will take you very, very far in a racing circumstance. That is for absolutely sure. Let me just grab this and this, and we are back out for qualifying. We've got some cars. There we go. And we're working once again. Excellent. Let's have a look at the Team Snail Porsche. And not just because it's got my name on the back. There's a lot of hard work on it in that livery. But it does look very, very good. Race number 2, Joe. Are you back with us? Are your admin duties done for the moment? Can we bend your ear for some expertise? No, can't at the moment. So you'll be popping on the ballast. And yeah, we'll get Joe back in. I'm sure he'll join us again before the end. But yeah, he's just fixing a few bits and pieces in the background. We'll see what Raiden Shogun can do this race. Of course, no ballast for Raiden in this one. He finished in 4th position in race number 1. You had 30 kilograms in race number 1. Won't have any in this one. So yeah, I'm thinking he could be hot favourite for yeah, we'll see if he gets on in race number 2. Definitely going to be the favourite, you would think, in the arms with the pace that he's showing. I mean, he won back-to-back races last week with 30 kilograms of ballast in both races. Couldn't quite manage that. The podium race 1 here at Barcelona, but ballast free. You're going to think Braden is fairly well eschewing for race number 2. Well, yeah. Is there any such thing as a shoe-in a motor race? Probably not. We'll see if he does in qualifying. Again, ballast free, unlike some of these competitors. And I think that is Joe back with us.
Yes, I know.
It is indeed. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I was just talking there. Raiden Shogun, obviously, he's had a phenomenal run in the arms, finishing just off the podium. And given the way the Mercedes performed with the 30 kilograms of ballast, finishing 4th was probably the ideal place for Raiden to finish. He's right just off the podium, so still bringing home a few decent points. But he's going to start race 2 ballast free. Looking good for race 2 for him, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. There's good potential there if you can just keep it on the road. The Mercedes around here does struggle a little bit with the front end. It's you need a good front end at Barcelona. So if you don't have that, then you tend to lose a bit of time. So we all know how long that bonnet is on the Mercedes, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of real estate there on the front bonnet of the Mercedes. It's yeah, it's a bit of a big one. Plenty of room for the artwork and sponsors decals though. So yeah, I definitely think that we're onto something there. We'll see what Shogun does. It's his first go at a flying lap as he leaves New Holland. We'll maybe leave that camera and boom, there we go. 1.4 seconds ahead of Daniel Zlatnik in the Porsche. We did see the arms down in the 143s. So very close to that at the minute. There's Blythe and Winter both getting times set. Winter behind Blythe in the BMW once again. 1.8 off the pace at the minute for Blythe. Mitchell, Wilson, Woodcock, Lockwood all looking to set times as well. There's Richard Gasson. Oh no, sorry, not Richard Gasson. He's just jumped up there. No one. Lockwood is still looking to set his first flying lap. Where is he at the minute? Oh, he's still got a fair bit to go. We do have another time he set. This Phil Mitchell, he's gone 7th on his opening lap. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be a banker lap for him. He'll be looking to improve on that, I would say. So yeah, we'll see how he does with that. Let me see if I can just put the volume up ever so slightly. There we go. Yeah, so 7th for Mitchell. Let's see what Lockwood does. As he is heading up the hill and towards the RACC chicane. Actually, as a racer, Joe, you are, yeah, I would say a pretty decent all-rounder. You're a good evaluator of tracks. You know how to read a track. What is your thoughts on Eurocar and the RACC chicane being removed and going back to the original Eurocar where it's just a run round the outside into New Holland? I think that little chicane there really does add a monstrously enjoyable element to the course, and I do feel we're a bit robbed now that they've taken it away. But I know that there's a lot of people who are very much in disagreement with me on that one. So yeah, from your point of view, from an actual racer rather than just a commentator, what are your thoughts on that final little chicane being taken out?
Well, there's two hats for this this head on this one, I think. So, as a racer, I'm glad it's gone because it's clumsy. It's not really a place where you can overtake. It doesn't really add to anything. You're not going to send it on the inside. It can create more problems than needed. The only thing it does do is help. If you get a bad exit, it gives an opportunity down the main straight into turn one. So that can be a good place to overtake. Obviously, it's the main place to overtake. So
yeah.
but as a as a spectator or as a person that likes watching racing, then I think it's good because of that, because it causes that jeopardy going into those corners and the big curbs there. We saw it in race one. Liam just literally clipped the curb and it just unsettled the car coming out of the final corner, and he lost a load of time to refs, and I think that was refs the best chance he had of overtaking refs, but that tiny little mistake completely took that chance away from him. So yeah, I mean, personally, I think for a Formula One stance, it's great to see the two fast corners back in again rather than the chicane. I think that's going to make it a lot different, a lot more exciting to watch. It's going to be a faster track, but for GT cars, they don't have the downforce, so you're not going to be going flying around there in full speed like you would in a Formula car. So yeah. But I mean, I like the idea that you could. There's a chance to go, pretty quick down the final two corners. So yeah, as a racer.
Yeah, so 50, and just to confirm as well, Joe used to be indecisive. Now he's not quite so sure. So
yeah. I would make a good politician. I didn't say yes, and you've all fallen asleep by the time I finished my answer. So
what? Sorry, what? Yeah.
Vote for me. I promise to make no changes and spend all your money. And then tell you it's all your fault, and I'll charge you more.
You've just blown it there, because that would be an honest politician. If one of them came out and said, "I'm not going to do what you need," see, you've blown it already. That's it. That's done. That could be the shortest political career in history there, Joe. So not only quick around the track, the political
I'm in and out, mate. In and out.
Quick as well. There we go. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Speaking of beautiful stuff, Chris Wilson in the Aston Martin, despite the 10 kilograms of ballast, he is within 0.2 of a second of Raiden Shogun. Joe was pointing out the Mercedes does struggle with the front end a bit around here. And even without the ballast, Shogun being hunted down by his fellow arms. Lockwood with 30 kilograms of ballast, still up in third place, 0.3 ahead of Nige Woodcock. Daniel Zlatnik 1.1 seconds down the road, but he does have some time in his pocket, so too do Blythe and Winter. Winter, the big improver on track at the minute, he's just coming in too. I mean, look at that camera shot there. How could you not love this corner? It just looks stunning. In fact, yeah, the TV static doesn't seem to be working very well. I do like that one that they've got mounted on the exit curb there. Winter does go quicker, and he does improve. Oh, look at Winter and Blythe. Wow. That is close. 1 minute 46.012, 1 minute 46.030.
And to Zlatnik as well, under a tenth. So those three are, you could cover them with a blanket.
You really could, and not even a big blanket either. One of those little summery ones you have a picnic on, I would say. That is very close. Mitchell down at the back of qualifying in this one. They're all making their way into the pits. Nigel Woodcock is trying to make his way onto the front row of the grid. He's going to need to double the time he's got. In fact, Daniel Slatnik, we may need a much bigger blanket actually, because Daniel has found himself about 4/10 of a second. Shogun's done with his lap, so that's his qualifying done. Back into the 43s for one of the AMs. So Lockwood with no ballast got in the 43s, Shogun no ballast got into the 43s, and Zlatnik I think just invalidated his lap.
I think he did coming out of the final corner, yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Very, very close to being quick. Chris Wilson still in the hunt. He's got a few corners to go. He's got a lot of tens to find though. He is the last out on track, so we'll see if he can get any closer to Shogun. Looking at that telemetry, I don't think he's going to get... He'll get a bit closer, but he won't get close. It's going to be at least half a second again there, Joe. That's an impressive run by Shogun.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it shows once he gets rid of the ballast and it lightens that Mercedes up, it really does make a difference. And that's why a lot of leagues out there run the LFM BOP. And when we come into season 8, we are looking at what we're going to do, whether we continue with ballast or a BOP or a mix. It depends on what we do. But it does, when you put that bit of weight in a race car, it really does change it, and not to the point where you just have to change the setup and carry on like normal. You change the way you drive, because it's like adding, if you've got 30 kilos, that's another 30 litres of fuel. So it's basically it works out as 1 kilo per litre. So that's about 16 minutes of race fuel, something like that, 15 minutes of race fuel. So that's quite a lot of fuel. So it makes a huge difference in the car.
Yeah, it's effectively like putting 7.5 bags of sugar in each door.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, just imagine that at home. Yeah, take 15 bags of sugar and put them in one hand. Take 15 bags of sugar and put them in the other hand. And then try and do a 1,500 metre race again.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge difference, and obviously the cars, they get it put in a specific place, so it balances the car out. They're not allowed to use that weight to help with anything. They're not allowed to separate the weight and put it at front and back and things like that. It goes in the car in one block, and usually I believe in the middle of the car. So it makes a difference. But just a note on Chris Wilson this season, he's been really consistent. So he's had quite a few podiums in the AM Championship, and he is probably one of the more consistent drivers. He only joined us, I believe, round 3 or 2, I think, he's done a great job. But to show the difference, having those sort of 5 podiums as of the last race we've just seen, he was 138 points behind Shogun, to show you how good Shogun has been this season and consistency, the racing that he has done. And I know that sounds like, Shogun's obviously, a silver driver, he should be in there. That could be the case. And next season, if he joins us back, then he'll be at the silver pace. But you still have to do it on track. And he's done that. So yeah.
Exactly,
I will let you crack on with your bit on the screen, sorry.
Yeah, oh no, you're fine. Listen, any insight the drivers, the viewers, anyone can get, we'd love to hear this, and especially hearing about the drivers. They are doing well. It's good to see, as you say, consistency. I did actually make a prediction. I said at the start, don't be surprised if Paul Sidlowski wins the pros without winning a race. No slight on his ability to win a race, because he did win a race straight away. But certainly that type of consistency, we did see. You've seen championships yourself, Joe, where you've got drivers haven't won a race all season, and going into the final round, they only need a podium finish and they can bring home the championship. So as I said earlier, it's not always about being quick. It's that consistency and bringing it home. It'll benefit you massively.
100%. I mean, you're getting into your oval racing, John. On iRacing.
Yep.
Exactly. And if you look at the NASCAR series and IndyCar series, it's not like Formula One where you get one driver racing at the front all the time. There is drivers that are usually near the front, but they don't win every race. And the title can come down to, you know, the last corner of the last race, and it could be 5 drivers all in a line that can all win it. And it's down to being consistent. And I remember one of the, I can't remember the chap's name. I'd have to look it up. But there was an IndyCar champion that won the championship without winning a race at all, and I don't even think he became on the podium in that entire season either. So it just shows you, as long as, yes, if you, as long as you are consistent and you are, you know, racing near the front, or at least, you know, being consistent with your results, you can have a chance to win the title. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, the oval addiction is getting really quite bad, to be honest. I'm not.
They're making a left turn.
I'm not saying I was up till 3 o'clock this morning trying to get automatic promotion to a B license, C license, but yeah, in less than a week I'm up to a C class.
Who would do that?
I'll be B class soon. But yeah, who would do that? Absolutely an irresponsible person. No irresponsibilities out on the track though. Liam Page. He's taken full responsibility for this qualifying session. 1 minute 42. Actually, I was just going to mention, was someone in the chat saying arms, but doing this pace. Yeah, John, wait till you see the pace of the pros. Liam Page, 1 minute 42.7. Not too bad, although Shogun only 7/10 off that pace, which is, yeah, pretty close, although Page is about to go quicker, even with the 10 kilograms of ballast. And it's interesting to see, we've got 3.5 minutes, Joe. I'm going to pick your brain again. Sorry, I've gone into full interview mode again. But it's amazing to see how cars react differently between qualifying and the race. I'm trying to think of the... there was one recently where... I'm sure it was a McLaren that did all the running in the race, but they just absolutely couldn't match the BMWs. Oh, what race was it now? For the life of me, that's escaped me. But I'm sure it was something like the McLarens had got it done in qualifying, and then the Mercedes just absolutely destroyed them in the race. Is there a big difference between the Porsche and the Ferrari? Like, there is differences in what they can do out of each corner, but we saw Page again. Oh no, Watts has just gone. Thank you very much, Dan Watts. He's just thrown that whole train of thought out the window. I was talking about Raiden Shogun, who'd benefited from finishing 4th place. We forgot about Dan Watts finishing in 4th place, Joe. That's done and dusted for the time, surely. That's race 1. Nobody's going to catch it now.
Yeah, I mean the Ferrari here is very, very strong. It's very much its strongest track, a bit like the BMW at Donington Park. But I know Dan had an issue in the first race, so he didn't close his ducts. So he had tyres that were around about 25 psi through the entire race. So that's one of the reasons why he was struggling. And obviously now this race, so we started off, the first race was at 2 p.m. and we're in quali now at 6 and the race is at 7, so it's going to get even cooler. So it should be around about 12 degrees air temperature for the race. And that will obviously bring the times down as well. So yeah, but the Ferrari tends to be very good around here. It's very nimble and has very good front end. So it does turn into the corners, and as I said earlier, you do need that at Barcelona. You need a car that's compliant when you turn. You can hit all your apexes, and yeah, that really does help. And welcome in John Earl from SGP. How you doing?
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, it was John that was saying about Dan, and yeah, big Dan Watts. Yeah, he doesn't mess it. Oh, wow. Liam Page. 82 hundredths of a second he's got ahead of Watts, and he's done with qualifying. He's firmly smashed the ball into Watts' court. Whitburn looking quick as well, so too Jordan Watson. Paul Whitburn looking to make amends for race number 1. He's got 3/10 in his pocket as well. In fact, both Whitburns carrying 3/10. We'll see Whitburn does go quicker. Cooper and Gasson still ahead of him though as the qualifying comes to an end. Oh, Dan Watts threatening a purple lap at the point there. Where is he? Just through Elf, heading up to Worth at the minute. Jordan Watson still got a 3/10 statement. Daniel Facina looking very quick as well. Paul Sedlowski really struggling in the Audi, and he's coming to the end of his lap. Oh no, sorry, he's just found an incredible amount of time. Okay, so he made a mistake in sector 3 on his previous laps. He's definitely right at that. He's about to go about 4.5 seconds quicker. He's gone to within 7/10 of a second. Almost identical time. To take about Adam Douglas.
That's an incredible lap. That is an incredible lap.
That is a very, 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 very good lap. He's got Sidlowski ahead of him on exactly the same time almost, and yeah, he's 100th quicker than Ben Nergard. Nergard with a difficult race 1 as well, so he'll be looking for an improvement as well. That's a lot of sunshine. Whitburn and Watson, look how quick those two are on the timing as well. That is incredible. 4/10 of a second, then 7/10
Who
of a
needs
second,
F1?
3 drivers. It's what, sorry, let's say that again.
Who needs F1?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, never mind that. 14 cars within 1.2 seconds.
Just a point about Ben Nergard. He had a quali ban for race 1, so that's why he started at the back and he was struggling. So yeah.
Got ya.
So,
Got
but look at that. So refs managed to get I think it was 42.7. I think it was for his quali in race 1, and he's up to a 42.3. So he's lost half a second with 30 kilos. So that shows you the difference it makes when you put weight in the car. And again, Dan Watts, he's into a low 42, mid 42, sorry. And I think in race 1, I think he did a high 42. So he's that was with 20 kilos, and he lost like 3 to 4 tenths. So it shows when you put the ballast in the car, it really does make a big difference.
Big difference. Big difference. Can Sidlowski make a difference to the starting order? No. No, he cannot. He crosses the line and he will stay.
He improved his lap, but he stayed 5th.
Yeah.
Right, I'll let you crack on. I'm going to go do all the naughties. And I'll join you in a little bit. Enjoy it, chat.
Perfect. Yes, thank you very much, Joe. He'll be back with us after lap 1. Liam Page there, you can see taking the top spot. Dan Watts in 2nd place. Matt Whitburn starting in 3rd for this one, ahead of Jordan Watson. The two of them on row 2 ahead of Sidlowski and Adam Douglas there, 5th and 6th position. In 7th place it is Ben Nergard, starting ahead of race 1 winner Sigurd Revzig. On row number 5, Richard Gasson in 9th with Nick Cooper in 10th position. Starting ahead of the AM Championship leader, up in 11th place, Raiden Shogun with Marcel Schneekman. 4th place in the silvers, side by side with him. It is then Andrew Priatko and Paul Whitburn, 13th and 14th. On row number 8, it is McCord and Facina, Chris Wilson and Nige Woodcut. There we can see just behind them. Then it's Daniel Zlatnik and Jordan Lockwood, ahead of Blythe and Winter. Brian Bond, Phil Mitchell and Leonardo Fangero bringing up the rear of the grid. We can get rid of that now. There we go. Perfect timing for Liam Page to lead us through. As Joe pointed out, 7 PM local time for this race start. So yeah, the sun will be setting. It'll be absolutely blinding as they come along that start finish. Let's have a look. Or not long start finish, sun's coming. Yeah, so when they turn up through turn number 1, but it's Liam Page who's going to lead the way once again. We saw the Ferrari massively outgunned by pretty much everything off the start line. It was only track position. Oh, drive-throughs for being out of position as we're foot down and flying in to turn number 1. Liam Page on the inside line, a bit of jostling in the background as Whitburn moves over. Paul Sidlowski getting a good run in the Audi, but it's Schneekman in the background in the Lambo looking for a move past Reagan Shogun. Nothing doing there. Dan Watts takes the lead of the race once again. The Ferrari completely outgunned off the start line, and it's Dan Watts who has got the job done exactly the same as his teammate did in the Porsche. Absolute carbon copy. And Matt Whitburn is going to move up as well. He's going to hold on to that position from Jordan Watson. The ball safely made it through turn number 1. Yes, indeed, they have. It is a phenomenal start by everyone down into Elf. It's Ryan McCord who finds himself overtaken by Jordan Lockwood. Nick Cooper, oh, we do have a bit of an incident now, though. That is Leonardo Fangero down at the back of the field, just involved in a bit of an incident. A couple of penalties coming through as well from race 1, as we see Matt Whitburn off the track at Worth. Let's see what happens here. So into Elf, he is being chased by Watson. And then that is another RTO livery behind them in the Merc. So let's see then, let's see what happened to Whitburn. He's now down in 6th position, so after an incredible start to race number 1. Oh, he's just lost the back of the car on the way into Worth. He's just mounted, he's put his right hand wheels too far over the curb in there, and Matt Whitburn has tumbled down the order and done his tyres absolutely no favours whatsoever there. 6th position then, Dan Watts all conquering up at the front. But Liam Page in 2nd place again after taking pole position. He finds himself chasing an RTO car. It's not a Porsche this time. It's Watts in the BMW. Watts in 3rd, Nergard in 4th, Sidlowski. Takes the quickest opening lap as Revzig looking to take some positions into turn number 1. It's a reignition of the battle between Whitburn and Revzig, but it's Revzig chasing Whitburn, and this time it's for 6th position. The other Whitburn, Paul Whitburn, having a good start to the race, up onto the podium positions in the silvers, being chased by Wilson's Latnick and Lockwood. Ryan McCord and Daniel Facina just behind them as well. In fact, Facina's a bit down the road. Ryan McCord only 3 tenths back. Priadko into the pits, and Nick Cooper, let me just have a look and see, is down 10 positions. So Nick Cooper has had a big incident at the start. Let me just see if I can confirm. So there is Cooper there on the exit to turns 1 and 2, heading towards the bridge. Oh, a lot of action going on ahead of him. Oh, and it's Gasson has clipped him on the back, and that is the pile-up that we saw the end of. Wow, and that was quite a few cars in there. That is a lot going on. Gasson then, no need to ask why he got that drive through. I think we've just seen that played out on screen. Opening lap incidents are live stewarded. Any incidents further on in the race are reported and looked at afterwards. Any penalties handed out in the next race. So that's what happened to Cooper. Big concertina effect. So after a phenomenal race at number 1, or a bit of a slight contact in race 1, lap 1, a bit of a bigger one halfway through the first lap this time. That sees Woodkit and Mitchell gaining a couple of positions, and there's confirmation of that there. Take a second to update on the board. Let's just confirm what's going on up at the top. It is still Watts being chased by Page, being chased by Watson, being chased by Nergard in 4th, Sidlowski in 5th, Whitburn and Revzig still 6th and 7th. What a battle they two are going to have, considering the battle they had in race number 1. Liam Page, he will be sick of the sight at the back of the RTO liveries, that is for sure. He chased a Porsche all the way through race number 1. He's now chasing a BMW in race number 2 after being out-qualified by Watts. Sorry, no, my apologies. What am I saying? It was Page that took pole position, Watts in 2nd place. It's Page with a fast start again into the cakes. He would know he's good on the brakes in there. We saw him in Revzig get very close there quite a few times. Nick Cooper down the field. Craig Winter off track. The BMW driver said, oh, and he's taken a bit of contact there from Blythe on the way into Worth there. So that's put Vangero back up a position or 2. Priadko flashed his lights for the overtake. I think he was caught up as well. And Raiden Shogun also. Not the best start to the race for the championship leader. We saw that big stramash at the start of the race. He was very much caught up in that one. So he is down at the back. It's going to be a long 19-minute grind for him to get back up in contention with the leaders. That is Dan Watts. This is Liam Page that we're looking for. And again, it is Liam Page will go on board with for the fastest driver on track and the second placed driver on track. He's got Dan Watts within 0.3 of a second. Page does have ballast, Watts does not, so very much ball in the court of Page at the minute. We've got Joe back with us. Bit of a coming together there on the opening lap there, Joe. It's amazing how quickly a slightest of contact can spiral out of control as drivers try and avoid, and very much a part of motor racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rich doesn't make that many mistakes like that, but yeah, he's completely outbraked himself into turn 4, and yeah, he's just unfortunately caused a bit of a pileup. And then a lot of people out of position on the start, which I've not seen like that happen before, so I'm wondering if it may have been a bit of a glitch, because there was 3 or 4 of them, I think it was, it all came up straight away for being out of position, so we'll have to review that. Yeah, so we'll review that after the race.
Yeah.
I've not seen it like that before, so we'll have a look and see how close they were to people in front of them, and see if they were out of position. And yeah, but Liam Page all over the back of Dan Watts. Dan Watts needs a good result here if he wants to carry a good lead into the next race, because obviously, unfortunately, Matt had a bit of a problem on lap 1 as well, didn't he? He lost it on the curb, so he's now down into 6th. So this could be Dan Watts' chance to regain the championship lead. But Liam, I'm sure, will have completely different thoughts on that process. But I would like to make a little statement. I think Liam needs some help from his fellow SOP drivers, because he's getting a little bit mugged by every single RTO member at the moment. And yeah, so I think he needs some help from SOP. I think it would be good to see them back in another RTO race.
Oh yes, it would. Yeah, there was some incredible battles last season. Yeah, we definitely need that. I will no doubt be on the oval with Simon this evening. I'll have a word in his shell like and see who we can yeah, see if we can get a few more drivers out on track. But yeah, at the minute, the ones that are out on track, absolutely getting the job done. It's nice and close right through the field as well. Blythe closing in on Winter. Good start by Lockwood as well. He's managed to hold second in the arms. Marcel Snapeman still very much in touch with the lead podium driver in the silvers. He's up to second place. He did get ahead of Whitburn, but I get the feeling that P. Whitburn might be looking to copy M. Whitburn and get some podium overtakes after Matt Pooler an absolute worldie in race number 1 right at the end to get himself up in the second. Paul is looking perfectly positioned to get himself an overtake done as well. Snapeman and Douglas just ahead. Douglas with an absolutely incredible lap in that McLaren in qualifying. He's dropped down a couple of positions overall, but not in his own class. 2 positions down, so 2 of the pros have got past him. Those 2 pros, Whitburn and Revzig. Absolutely no shame in that whatsoever. In fact, Whitburn looks like he's dropped the attentions of Sidlowski, and he is now... sorry, he's dropped the attentions of Revzig, and he is now chasing down Sidlowski and Nergard. Nergard having a good opening to the race in the Mercedes, 4th place at the minute. Page 8 off the back, but Watson still within half a second of them, but they're 4 seconds up the road. So yeah, Watson as well actually. That's quite the drive he's having. And they're coming up to, is that Daniel Facina just there? Daniel Zlatnik's in the pits. No, it's not Facina, that is the Mad Panda Mercedes of Andrew Priadko. Yeah, so he is well down the pace. Is he? I think he might have been into the pits. Would that be a correct assertion?
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Daniel Zlatnik in the pits at the moment as well. Like the yeah, Priadko. There we go. Very handily getting himself out of the way and letting the podium battle make their way through. Jordan Watson, he now the 3rd driver in the equation. We've seen how well that's worked out for drivers so far. Oh, Matt Whitburn, is he getting a move on Sidlowski already into the final chicane? Oh, bit of a wiggle from the Audi on that curve on the way through. needs a good New Holland exit here. Matt Whitburn into turn number 1. How's he going to get on? The Audi in a straight line is still a bit of a monster. I mean, it's not quite GT2 Mercedes straight line power, but it certainly can get the job done, leaving the McLaren absolutely standing there and gaining ground on Nergard ahead. So these three are going to continue to battle as Jordan Watson continues to chase down Liam Page and Dan Watts. So yeah, Douglas having a phenomenal drive in the silvers. Watson as well in the pros, having another good drive. Solid drive in race number 1. Had a great battle with Dan Watts and Paul Sidlowski. Now finds himself within 1.2 seconds of the lead. Liam Page, the SOP, filling in the RTO sandwich at the minute. Matt Whitburn, how close? Look how close he is getting. Always thinking about that into Worth. You're definitely not trying a side-by-side up through there, although he did go round the outside over the top of the course, so he might give it a go if you think, and he's having another look again right on that inside curve. Watson still chasing, sorry, Nergard I was going to say there, my apologies. Nergard will certainly be keen on the battling behind him, continue. Oh, he's going for up the inside. Matt Whitburn absolutely owning sector 3 of this course. He's already gone round the outside of one of the RTO drivers on this corner, and he's just made a move up the inside of Lakexa. Linksay, we might need you to retract that statement about not being able to make overtakes in Lake. No, sorry, it wasn't Lake we were talking about. It was the RSCC chicane, sorry. But yeah, Matt Whitburn, I mean, it must be difficult for you to remain unbiased at this point. You've just got him into the RTO team, so you must be absolutely beaming with pride. What an addition he is to the team, and what an overtake that is by Matt Whitburn. Phenomenal stuff, and the control of the McLaren, absolutely spot on.
Oh, absolutely. I took a page out of Simon from my SOP's playbook. I saw a good driver and grabbed him before anyone else could get hold of him. So I've learnt, and no, Matt is doing a great job. You know, it's he's consistent, he's clean, he's fast, and that's everything we want in the top end of RTO. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can now take on the senior members now of Ben, and see if he can try and pull up against Jordan and Dan Watts as well. So see how far he can get forward. He needs to have a good result, because if Dan finishes where he does and Matt finishes where he is, I think Dan will then retain the lead of the championship, leaving Barcelona, and it will be by a point or two. It won't be a lot, so he needs a good result.
I was going to say, yeah, if it stays as it is, you're right, it will be Watts that goes maybe 3-4 points back into the lead. I did say at the start of the broadcast this was going to be an absolutely titanic struggle for the title right down to the end, and it's absolutely playing. And as you said as well, in the NASCAR, you see drivers that don't even finish on the podium and winning themselves championships because you've got so many winners, and you can't throw a stick in any of these divisions without hitting a driver that could well go on to win one of these races. Watts, Page, Watson there. I mean, the whole Sidlowski website. In the silvers, Douglas, phenomenal driving. Snapeman in the Lamborghini, no slouch. Lockwood signs up for the arms and brings home a win in race number 1. And we've got, of course, Raiden Shogun. Just, yeah,
who is running last.
Yes.
He's running last. He's 2 laps down, so obviously he's been in the pits and had some damage that he's had to repair. He spent 82 seconds in the pits, so obviously had a lot of damage that he had to repair. So this is again, it just shows you, because I mean he's still gonna pick up a handful of points for finishing, but it means that Chris Wilson and Mitchell Woodcock will all gain and close that gap. So it's still not over yet. There's still 4 more races after this is done to gain points. And if he has a disconnect, or if he's not able to show up for one race or something like that, it throws it right open. So even when you've got a title and you are, you know, maybe 40-50 points behind people, it's just don't give up, because anything can happen, especially in sim racing. There's a few more variables, such as, like I say, internet connection, power outages. Anything can happen. We've all had it done to us. So yeah, so it's interesting that he's down there, and I'm sure Raiden won't be impressed with finishing last, but I'm sure he'll be back fighting again next week.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. And yeah, next week, Red Bull Ring. Excited.
Yes. It's. I must admit, we obviously you were there. We raced it yesterday in SOP with the GT2s and GT3 mixed grid. That was, and they are so close there. Like the
Oh
GT2s
yeah.
and threes is. I mean, there wasn't a section like a GT3 and a GT4. It was a mixed grid, and I'm looking forward to seeing these guys. And I mean, we saw how fast Dan was there yesterday, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he pulls out the bag when we go to that track. So, Jordan Watson is harrying Mr. Page. He wants that P2. Jordan obviously missed last week due to personal commitments, and is now back fighting near the front, which is great to see. And yeah, so see if he can make it a 1-2 for RTO. That would be really nice with 9 minutes to go.
Wow, okay. Sorry, that totally caught me by surprise there. We're already 16 minutes into this race.
Yep.
Yeah, genuinely thought we'd go for about 5 minutes. Matt Whitburn, oh yeah, Jordan Watson looking quick, no ballast on his car, there is on the car ahead. Matt Whitburn, the full package, we saw him in race number 1 bide his time and pick up the position. We've seen him get absolute killer overtakes done as well. He can qualify, he can lap. I don't know, I might have to send him a profile picture. See if he's...
Don't be holding the fish.
No, that's the one. That's the one. But yeah, Whitburn, absolutely the full package out on track. He's now got Ben Nergard ahead of him. Nergard trying to hold on to 4th position as Revsig tries to hold on to the back of Whitburn. Jordan Watson definitely holding on to the back of Liam Page. Much to the delight, I'm sure, of one Dan flying up at the front. What's a second of a gap he's got now, as Page is going to have to consider going slightly defensive. Nice Woodkick could be going defensive very shortly as well. He has Phil Mitchell breathing down his neck along the start finish straight. He is definitely being pulled on. Regan Shogun a lap down. Just behind these drivers, so he's just let them through under blue flags, done so very quickly as you would expect. Great sportsmanship. I might have to try and make an appearance. Excellent. Yeah, get yourself out on track.
We definitely need you back there, Mr. John. Yeah, we need some more Fry guys back in the RTO leagues for 100%. And I think with the pace that John's shown over in Onid and some of the leagues that you've been racing in, John, you'll be fighting up near the front with these guys. So it'd be great to see you back on track, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all the challengers up at the front of the grid, more than welcome. And yeah, the drivers out on track, you'll know as well as a team manager. One of the other things that all your drivers have got in common, they absolutely love to get out on track and mix up. None of them want to just canter to a win. They want to get involved in racing, they want to get involved in battles, they want to go side by side. They all want to be challenged and pushed harder, pushed further, and pushed to improve in every single aspect of their game. And that must be, yeah, a great feeling to have when you look at the team roster.
Oh, 100%. I mean, between the two races, when I went to settle the ballast, I just jumped into the team speak to the guys, and I said, "Refs, how do you feel after that?" And he played a crying baby sound. So yeah, he was definitely under pressure, but he loved it. So yeah, it'd be really it is great to see it. I mean, as you can see, all the guys at the front there, they are very close to each other. And there's been a contact between, I think, Adam Douglas and Dreambound. So Dreambound has now moved up to P8. Adam Douglas has lost a position to Paul Whitburn. So Paul Whitburn now into P2 in the silver class. Yep. Although Dreambound has an SG10. So that needs to be changed. So where's he got that from?
I think we're about to find out.
Oh, that'll be...
Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, so Adam Douglas knocked him over. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, Snapeman ended up taking the new course layout because Adam Douglas lost control of the car, came back on. The two of them were magnetised by the contact physics, and Marcel Snapeman was run off course. Yeah, so absolutely right that penalty gets removed. All penalties like that do get removed by the stewards, and they're looked at afterwards. If it is a drive-through for track limits, that will be looked at. If it's overly egregious, then a penalty will be applied afterwards. But to keep everyone in the race and keep everyone racing, drive-throughs are naturally removed. But I think, yeah, based on that evidence, no way you could give I credit Schneepman there for deliberately cutting the track. He was guided off gently off to the left, got himself a quick shot on the new course, but he's also got himself onto the top spot of the podium in the silvers. Ooh, that might be a bit of a track cut on the exit to Lakakes there. Let's be careful. And somewhat redemption for Paul Whitburn. He now finds himself up into second place after it. Oh, difficult. Wow, both of them there.
Yeah, losing the rears. Yeah, oversteering. Try both of them. Just need to just settle down and just get the rhythm back. Otherwise, they'll make too many mistakes. But yeah, Paul at the moment in the driving seat for 4 minutes to go. Whether he can get that, hold that. That'll be his first silver win. That'll be his first class win.
Matt Whitburn fell over my own bottom lip there, trying to get that one out quickly enough. Matt Whitburn having a look. We've seen what he's done. As I said, he's the full package. He can get the overtakes done. Ben Nergard will be fully aware of that. The Mercedes, we know, does struggle a bit around the Barcelona track. The McLaren definitely hasn't seemed to struggle, and he is certainly indicating that he's looking for the overtake. The RTO teammates, 0 team orders in play, and that is about to play out in the next 3.5 minutes. Can Sigurd Revsing get himself close enough to maybe get another position? As Joe and I have said, Whitburn needs to bring home as many points as he can to keep the fight between him and Watts as close as possible. At the minute, this puts Watts back in the lead by a couple of points. If Whitburn can take 4th place from Nergard, he will be championship leader going into the penultimate round. And it's all going to be decided in the next 3 minutes. It's absolutely insane. Chris Wilson leading the way in the arms. He's had an incredible drive as well. Managed to avoid everything that went on. He's being chased down by Lockwood and is in fact hunting down Ryan McCord as well. He does have a penalty to add to his time, so he's looking to get a 5-second gap between himself and Lockwood. At the minute, it's at 4.7 seconds. Oh, and it's just gone down to 4.2. Lockwood looking for back-to-back wins. That 5 seconds is going to be costly there, Joe.
It is, yeah. I mean, again, it's going to be looked at after the race because it could, I mean, with those many people being too far forward, sometimes, I've only ever seen that once where it's a glitch. I was in an online lobby and literally there was 20 cars and I think 15 of us ended up with drive-throughs.
So maybe Bob tourist penalties. Hey.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was all McLarens. No, it wasn't really. Oh, and Facina's just made a mistake, and Nick Cooper's going to go around the outside into the final corner. And yeah, he's got that job done. So he's now up to P14, 5th in class. And Facina tucks in behind to see whether he can get the run in the draft down into turn 1. But I think Nick has this one done. He does have a little look, trying to put Nick off, but he takes the racing line. And I think he has that one sewn up. And maybe he can try and chase after the guys ahead with a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, really is going to need to get the foot down. Paul Whitburn definitely getting the foot down as well. But that's not the Whitburn I was looking for. It was Matt Whitburn still pressing on the rear bumper of the Mercedes. Watson within 6/10 of Liam Page. Dan Watts is soon becoming a dim and distant memory for the Ferrari driver behind 1.3 seconds. The biggest gap that was seen at the front of the field for the entirety of this evening. They do have Fangio just ahead of them, but he'll very handily get out of the way right out the last corner. In fact, I thought it was going to be the start-finish straight, but they're a bit closer than that. Page makes
There's a great fight going on for the final part of the AMS between the two Snell drivers, Nigel Woodcote and Phil Mitchell, who is going to be the final one on the podium. It is literally neck and neck, both of these guys making moves. Phil weaving down the straight, trying to put him off. And yeah.
Oh, and really close. Good work on the brakes by both of them there. The BMW driver going a bit shallow on the corner exit, staying away from the yellow sausage curb. But they have both made it through, so they've got one last lap to battle it out for inter-team honours and the final podium position in the arms. We just heard confirmation there. Dan Watts has crossed the line. Oh, Liam Page has crossed the track limits. He's crossed the track limits and he's given Jordan Watson a big old sniff in health. That's a mistake by Page there. That's 2 mistakes in 2 races. Is it going to cost them 2 spots on the podium overall? Heading up into where the BMW driver can smell blood in the water, surely. Both of them need to keep it between the mayo and the mustard and as smooth as possible. The gap now to Watts has obviously increased as Liam Page looks to steady the ship and bring home second place. Can Jordan Watson get it done? Not the easiest corners to get it done in the closing sector. Watson having a look, but he's not quite close enough there. It looks like Page might just do enough to bring this one home. Can Matt Whitburn spoil Ben Nergar's party? It's been a solid drive there by both drivers. Whitburn getting a good overtake done. Refsek still lurking there in the background. Mitchell and Woodcutter only separated by 0.2 of a second as Dan Watts makes his way through New Holland. Passes a fellow BMW, and Dan Watts with the fastest lap of the race as well. He's still standing.
Oh. Ben Nergard and Matt Whitburn have come together, and that means Refs pulls up to P8 in the final couple of corners.
Wow.
And yeah.
So Revsig did get the position, so that's an absolute catastrophe then for Whitburn. Not only did Watts get the fastest lap, oh, big wait, the McLarens really don't like Sector 3. He couldn't get the car back under control again, and obviously he stopped there so as not to take the position. He's waited until the Mercedes has got going again, because that is the level of sportsmanship you absolutely love to see. Just a bit too light.
Thank you very much.
And he does indeed. Revzig, he's always there. That's why I mentioned him as a potential fly in the championship ointment. I mean, Dan Watt's doing everything to keep this one on the top spot of the tables, but Revzig getting back up there as well. Is he on the podium? Or has somebody backed out?
No, someone's left.
In a few seconds.
Yeah, Liam left. Liam came to the
Liam left.
But Paul Whitburn, winner of the Silvers. Congrats to Paul. That is a great drive. Finally, well done.
How did he get ahead of Douglas? No,
he got ahead of Douglas. It was Dreamland. He got a 5-second penalty. Yeah, he got a 5-second penalty.
The 5-second penalty, of course. Sorry. Wilson had one as well. I was looking at the wrong one there. My apologies. As Gasson comes across the line, I'm all at sea there. These finishes, Linksay, they're going to be the end of me. Honestly,
I know.
Seriously, they're going to be the
absolute short version.
Brain frying stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't. The results have gone. Green light. We lost the results there.
I need to change that on the server for you, don't I? Sorry about that.
You know what I meant to ask last week, actually. It did pop into my brain last week to ask you to add a couple of minutes there, and I completely forgot, so I'm going to take that one on the chin. Broadcasting is what I'm supposed to do. So, but yeah, that was another incredible round. The perfect reason, though, to jump onto the SimGrid page. Of course, RTO League Racing. Reasonably new hosts to the SimGrid platform, and they are arranging all their leagues, so jump on there. You can get yourself involved in the racing action and keep up to date with the full results. Of course, you can join the Discord as well. Keep up to date with when Joe and the gang are going live. Let me just invites are disabled. So I'll get Joe himself to pop a link in the chat for the Discord group. If you do want to sign up. And of course, Linksay's own league channel as well. Please do jump over there. An absolutely incredible streamer and teach. He made me 5 seconds faster at the Nürburgring in a Ferrari. And if you've seen me drive, you'd realise just what a feat that was. Maybe all the more reason I too should be jumping on the Track Titan bandwagon. It is the easiest way to find how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to other drivers on their leaderboards, or even your friends and fellow community racers, with prizes for first, second and third in all 3 of the splits. It's not just the drivers who are being treated by Track Titan, you the viewers at home as well can get yourself all the data you need. Get yourself out on track and get yourself primely poised to take on the RTO drivers at the top of the pro standings. RTO Titan at checkout will give you 1 month free of the Plus subscription and 30% off your next month. So please do jump over there. Support yourself on track and support an organisation supporting so many organisations, bringing us some live racing action. And what action it's been. The RTO Esports YouTube page is the only place to catch it all. Scintillating Season 6 is still available. It will be a very productive use of your time watching those races back. If you do have a heart condition though, be warned, some of the finishes even closer than some of the ones we've seen tonight, so do please be careful. Watch with advisory. But make sure you go back and enjoy. Thank you, of course, to everyone that's hit subscribe on the RTO YouTube channel. It's great to see the support that they've been getting on and off the track. Yeah, the big man here in the co-commentary box, I'm a massive fan of the work that he does, and it's good to see the dedication he's got getting people out on track, sitting in the admin, furiously typing away on the keyboard, not out on track himself. But yeah, working fastidiously in the background. To get everything going, and probably going to spend a little while looking at a few incidents for the rest of the night. But another phenomenally successful round this evening, Joe. Barcelona never fails to disappoint. RTO racers, league racers, never fail to disappoint. And yeah, onwards and upwards to the Red Bull Ring.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you thought it was clear, if you thought it was close tonight, it's going to be even closer next week at Red Bull Ring. It's a short track, which means the lap times are obviously a little bit lower than what you've seen tonight, which means the gaps get a little bit closer as well. So if you thought it was close, and bear in mind we had a lot of the grid, hundredths of a second between each other, you could see even thousandths, over the next week. So get yourselves along and join us for next week. Same time, same place as always.
Indeed, yes, we will be live 8 o'clock, as Joe said, same time, same place next week. Make sure you get those alarm clocks set. Get the calendar reminder. You do not want to miss RTO's debut at the Red Bull Ring. I guarantee it. Before then, though, we will leave you with the highlights. Race 1 highlights will play through, and then we'll switch over to race number 2 so you can watch back all the overtaking action. But that is all from Joe and myself this evening. Massive thank you as well to everyone that's been in the chat, chatting away. Apologies we didn't get much chance to speak to you this evening. There was a bit much going on throughout the whole 25 minutes of each race. So, but again, thank you to that. Well, that's all we have for this evening. So, with a good night from Mr. Joe Boyle himself.
Good night.
And it is a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.